The Squid Game has brought us several interesting theories. One of the most popular suggests that GI-HUN will become the next leader of the games. In other words, he will take the frontman's place at the end of Season 3. But how likely is this? Does the theory make sense? We'll find out. Today on our channel, we will do a full analysis, and I'll tell you why GI-HUN could end up as the new frontman of Squid Game. Ready? Let's begin. The theory suggests that the frontman will corrupt GI-HUN's mind so that he joins the Squid Game, but this time as the new leader. This idea is based on the fact that the series has shown us a complete transformation of GI-HUN throughout the seasons, and this change will lead him to become someone as evil as the frontman. At the beginning of the series, GI-HUN was a clumsy and unsuccessful man, but despite his problems, he tried to be happy. It was very common to see GI-HUN smiling and looking on the bright side of life. Look at the first episode of the series. GI-HUN smiles all the time, despite being in debt for 10 lifetimes. In Season 2, everything is different. We see an emotionally destroyed GI-HUN. His smile is gone, his personality has changed. The trauma from the first games haunts his life. This is a clear parallel to what happened with the frontman. He was also a good man who became corrupted when his wife and baby died. The series aims to show us how GI-HUN's personality becomes increasingly similar to the frontman's. However, they are still not the same. The two have opposing philosophies. Despite all the suffering in Season 1, GI-HUN remains a good person who always sees the goodness in others. He has faith in people. That's why in the new games we can see him trying to save players. On the other hand, the frontman defends the opposite. He says that humans are evil. Anyone can become a killer when the right moment comes. These two philosophies constantly clash throughout the season. In several episodes, we see GI-HUN caring about the other players and feeling pain when someone dies. In these scenes, the frontman only looks at GI-HUN with disdain. To him, GI-HUN's worldview is pathetic. Throughout the games, the frontman manipulates events to demonstrate his ideals to GI-HUN. In the first vote, he was the one who decided that everyone should continue playing. Here, he demonstrated something important. All people are selfish and would be willing to risk their lives and others' lives for money. The frontman cares deeply about proving his philosophy to GI-HUN, because only then can he corrupt him. He needs GI-HUN to share his ideals, to become the new frontman. In the carousel game, when the mother is separated from her child, the frontman tells the woman that her son abandoned her. Here, player number 1 tried to show that people are evil. The best way to do this was by showing GI-HUN how a son was capable of abandoning his mother. The frontman acts like the devil, manipulating events and whispering darkness to people. Despite everything, GI-HUN does not allow himself to be manipulated. He stands firm in his ideals, but everything changes in the final episode when GI-HUN organizes a revolt against the guards. To achieve his goal, GI-HUN sacrifices several of his companions. This decision by GI-HUN changes everything. In this scene, the frontman appears satisfied because he finally achieved his goal. He wanted to prove that GI-HUN could be corrupted. He argues that everyone can become evil when necessary, and here it was proven. So far, the theory has gained many points, but there are still some things missing for GI-HUN to become the new frontman. Other components are needed for the two characters to become identical. Perhaps tragedy is the most important point in this transformation. At the season finale, the frontman kills GI-HUN's friend in front of his eyes. This tragedy is fundamental for the two to connect. Let's remember that the frontman was a normal and happy man. He was a good cop, but everything changed when his pregnant wife died. This destroyed his world and he became corrupted. With this in mind, it seems logical that the frontman would kill GI-HUN's friend. He wanted to break his spirit. He wanted GI-HUN to suffer the same thing he suffered in the past. But tragedy alone is not enough. We need to add an important component: guilt. The frontman feels guilty for his wife's death. In the series, we are told that she was very ill, so he wanted to sell his own kidney to get money and save her. But he couldn't do it because years earlier he had donated his kidney to his adoptive brother, the policeman. This detail makes his wife's death even more painful because the frontman feels it was his fault. Going back to GI-HUN, he has already suffered significant losses in the past. In Season 1, several of his friends and even his mother died, but these deaths were not his fault. They were all victims of the games. GI-HUN was just another victim. On the other hand, in Season 2, Yongbai did die directly because of GI-HUN. He was the one who organized the rebellion plan, and his friends supported him because he trusted him. That's why this death is so important. That's why the frontman wanted GI-HUN to watch his friend die. He tells him this happened to you because you played the hero. He needed GI-HUN to suffer this guilt. Now GI-HUN and the frontman already share the same feelings of tragedy and guilt. But something important is still missing to completely corrupt GI-HUN. The missing component is betrayal. What do I mean? In the frontman story, we are told another important detail. When his wife became ill, an old acquaintance was helping him with money. But his fellow officers thought this was a bribe, so they reported him to his superiors. This caused the frontman to be fired and left without options. This component of betrayal is important because here, the frontman discovered that people are not truly good. He worked for years as a good cop, but even so, everyone turned their backs on him at the first opportunity. No one gave him a chance to defend himself. Office. This component is what GI-HUN is missing to be corrupted. For the theory to work in Season 3, GI-HUN must be betrayed by someone. We might think that player number 1's betrayal is enough. GI-HUN considers him a friend, and it would be a strong betrayal for him. But this doesn't count because the frontman is already evil. For the betrayal to make sense, GI-HUN must be betrayed by his friends, the ones he defends. I'm talking about the players who survived. It is possible that the frontman will offer these people the chance to leave if they turn against GI-HUN. If this happens, GI-HUN would definitely become disillusioned with the world. The very people he is defending would turn their backs on him. With this blow, GI-HUN might give up and adopt the frontman's philosophy that people are evil. The Squid Game perfectly represents the frontman's philosophy. In this game, good people turn bad, friends kill each other. Betrayals happen all the time, and people's worst desires are awakened. The frontman knows all this, and that's why he defends the games. This is not just a job for him. These games clearly represent his philosophy and demonstrate it all the time. That's why philosophically it matters so much to him to corrupt GI-HUN. He represents everything opposed to these games. GI-HUN is good and wants to help people. For GI-HUN to become the new leader, he needs to understand the frontman's philosophy. From what we've seen in Season 2, we understand that he's already halfway there. The frontman has won the first round. What happens next depends on GI-HUN. In conclusion, the theory has many points in its favor. I would dare to say it is the theory with the most narrative foundations. If you ask me, I do believe the frontman will offer GI-HUN the chance to join him, but he will reject it. I'm sure the story must end with GI-HUN on the good side, whether by destroying the games or dying to save someone, but I cannot accept the idea of GI-HUN